Have you ever wondered where the thin line lies between confidence and arrogance? It's a question that has been pondered by many, and yet the answers we come up with often seem to blur into a grey area of uncertainty. Confidence and arrogance, two traits that are so closely intertwined and yet stand miles apart in their essence. Confidence, it's a quality we admire, a trait that we often seek in ourselves and others. It's the belief in one's abilities, a quiet assurance that speaks volumes, a voice that says, "I can," without the need to shout it from the rooftops. Confidence is subtle, it's humble, it's the ability to stand tall yet remain grounded. On the other hand, we have arrogance, often mistaken for confidence, yet it's a trait that is typically seen as negative. Arrogance is loud, it's boisterous, it's the voice that not only says "I can," but also adds, "and I'm better than you." It's the belief that one is superior, often without the merit to back it up. Arrogance is confidence gone awry. It's the belief in oneself pushed to an extreme. It's confidence without humility. Yet despite their differences, confidence and arrogance are often confused, one for the other. Why is it so? Perhaps it's because both traits stem from a belief in oneself, a belief that can be empowering or destructive depending on how it's harnessed. Perhaps it's because both traits exude a certain level of self-assuredness, a level that can be inspiring or intimidating, again, depending on how it's perceived. So we find ourselves in a conundrum, trying to discern the thin line that separates confidence from arrogance. A line that is often blurred by perception, by circumstance, by individual personalities. A line that is as significant as it is elusive. So the question remains, what differentiates confidence from arrogance? It's a question that we will delve deeper into as we navigate through this intriguing journey, trying to unravel the mysteries of the human psyche. Stay with us as we explore the thin line that separates the admired from the abhorred, the confident from the arrogant. To answer this, let's delve into a tale of two characters, John and Alex. John, a beacon of confidence, carries himself with an air of self-assuredness that doesn't cross into the realm of overbearing. He values the opinions of others not as a threat to his own beliefs, but as a chance to learn and grow. His ears are always open, absorbing more than his mouth emits. He's a listener, an observer, a learner. When criticism comes his way, he greets it with understanding and gratitude, viewing it as an opportunity to improve, to be better. Now let's shift our lens to Alex. Alex is an embodiment of arrogance. He strides through life with a dismissive air, brushing off the opinions of others like specks of dust on his shoulder. He talks, oh how he talks, filling every room with the echo of his voice, leaving little room for anyone else's. To him, listening is a chore, a waste of his precious time, and criticism, he treats it as a personal attack, reacting with defensiveness and hostility. John and Alex, two individuals walking the same path of life, yet experiencing it in vastly different ways due to their attitudes. John's confidence allows him to form meaningful relationships, to learn and grow from his interactions with others. He's well respected and admired, not for his knowledge or skills, but for his humility and willingness to learn. Alex, on the other hand, with his arrogance, alienates those around him. His incessant need to prove his superiority leaves little room for meaningful connections. He's stuck in a cycle of self-validation, unable to see beyond the walls of his ego. Through John and Alex, we can see how confidence and arrogance, though often mistaken for each other, are worlds apart. Confidence is about being comfortable with yourself, acknowledging your strengths and weaknesses, and being open to growth. Arrogance, on the other hand, is about proving your worth to others, dismissing their opinions and resisting change or growth. In their interactions, we see the stark contrast between confidence and arrogance. What makes John confident and Alex arrogant? Let's delve into the factors that create these distinct personas. Confidence, seen in John, is a product of a few key attributes: self-assuredness, humility, and empathy. Self-assuredness is the belief in one's abilities. It's the inner voice that says, "I can do this." It is not loud or boastful. Instead, it is a quiet, steady belief that fuels actions. Then there's humility. It's the awareness that while you may be good at something, there's always someone better. This keeps us grounded, fostering a learning attitude and an open mind. It's the recognition that we don't have all the answers, and that's okay. Finally, there's empathy. Confidence is not just about knowing your strengths, but also understanding and appreciating the strengths of others. It's about recognizing that everyone has something valuable to contribute. Now let's turn to Alex, embodying arrogance. This too is born out of certain factors. A superiority complex, dismissiveness and defensiveness are among them. A superiority complex is an inflated sense of self-worth, often masking deep-seated insecurities. It's the belief that one is better than others, leading to a sense of entitlement and disregard for others' feelings or ideas. Dismissiveness is the inability or unwillingness to take others' views into account. It's the belief that one's perspective is the only one that matters. This closes off potential avenues for growth and learning. Lastly, defensiveness. It's the knee-jerk reaction to protect one's ego when faced with criticism or challenge. Instead of taking it as an opportunity for self-improvement, the arrogant person sees it as a threat to their perceived superiority. These factors reveal the underlying attitudes that distinguish confidence from arrogance. So, what happens when arrogance goes unchecked? This is the question that we must grapple with as we delve into the downfall that often accompanies unchecked arrogance. Imagine Alex, a character we've created for illustration. He's exceptionally talented, no doubt, but his self-assuredness has crossed over into the realm of arrogance. He believes he's always the smartest person in the room, that he has all the answers. His words and actions reflect this belief, creating an aura of superiority that isolates him from others. Now, relationships are vital to personal growth. They provide a platform for the exchange of ideas, for learning, for empathy. But Alex's arrogance acts as a barrier. His constant need to prove himself superior prevents him from truly listening to others, from learning and growing. He's trapped in a self-imposed echo chamber where his own voice is the loudest, drowning out all others. But arrogance doesn't just alienate Alex from others, it also blinds him to his own shortcomings. He's so convinced of his own infallibility that he fails to recognize his mistakes, let alone learn from them. He's like a ship's captain who refuses to acknowledge the iceberg ahead, firmly believing in the invincibility of his ship. Arrogance, in this way, becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy of failure. It's not the iceberg that sinks the ship, but the captain's refusal to acknowledge and navigate around it. Similarly, it's not Alex's mistakes that stunt his growth, but his refusal to acknowledge and learn from them. His arrogance, unchecked, becomes the architect of his downfall. And yet, the tragedy of arrogance is not just in the downfall it precipitates, but in the potential it squanders. For Alex, his talents and abilities, which could have been harnessed for personal growth and meaningful contributions, are instead wasted on a futile quest for superiority. Arrogance, then, is not just off-putting, but can also be self-destructive. It isolates, blinds, and ultimately leads to downfall. The unchecked arrogance doesn't just hurt others, it hurts the arrogant individual the most. Arrogance unchecked becomes a poison that seeps into every facet of life, turning potential into downfall and confidence into a tragic flaw. But is there any good that comes with arrogance? Now, this might surprise you, but yes, there can be a silver lining to arrogance. It's important to remember that all traits exist on a spectrum. And when tempered with humility and self-awareness, arrogance can be a driving force for ambition and achievement. Consider this: arrogance often stems from an unshakable belief in oneself, a conviction in one's abilities and ideas. This unwavering self-assurance, when paired with humility, can push individuals to strive for greatness, to break boundaries, to challenge the status quo. It can be the spark that fuels innovation and progress. However, the key here is balance. Self-awareness is crucial. It enables us to recognize when our confidence tips over into overbearing arrogance, allowing us to recalibrate and keep our egos in check. It's about using the fire of arrogance to light the way forward, without letting it consume us. Arrogance, like any trait, can be harnessed for good when balanced with other qualities. So where do we draw the line between confidence and arrogance? That's what we've been digging into. Confidence is a strength, a belief in oneself, a trait admired by many. It's like our friend John, who believes in his abilities but remains humble and respectful. He's a beacon, radiating positivity and inspiring those around him. On the other hand, arrogance is a twisted version of confidence. It's an inflated sense of self-worth, an overbearing trait that disrespects others. It's Alex, who believes he's superior to everyone around him, his arrogance casting a shadow over his strengths. The factors that contribute to both are numerous, from upbringing, life experiences, to societal influences. But it's how we navigate these factors that shape us. Confidence can lead to success, while unchecked arrogance can often lead to a downfall. Yet even arrogance can have its silver linings if we learn from it. Remember, confidence attracts, arrogance repels. Let's strive to be like John, confident yet humble, and avoid becoming an Alex whose arrogance overshadows his strengths.